Please welcome Congressman Ron Paul. All right, sir, let's get right to the heat of the meat. Are you or are you not ready to declare that you will eventually drop out of the 2012 race?
I'm on my way.
In tonight's Spotlight, the 2012 Republican field is taking shape. Perennial loser Ron Paul went to Iowa today to announce the official beginning of his third presidential campaign. His Texas constituents need not worry that he will be distracted from his full-time job as their congressman. Ron Paul recently said, quote, "I'm not a good legislator," end quote. So his presidential campaign will not in any way prevent him from continuing to be a bad legislator. Ron Paul's happy announcement of a hopeless campaign comes 24 hours after Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour announced he would not run after realizing his campaign would be as hopeless as Ron Paul's. Instead of admitting the utter hopelessness of a Haley Barbour for President campaign, he issued this phony statement. A candidate for president today is embracing a 10-year commitment to an all-consuming effort to the virtual exclusion of all else. His or her supporters expect and deserve no less than absolute fire in the belly from their candidate. I cannot offer that with certainty. Joining me now, John Heilemann, National Affairs Editor at New York Magazine and the co-author of Game Change, soon to be an HBO motion picture. John, thanks for joining me tonight.
Good evening, sir.
No surprise, Haley Barbour can do the math. Better than most candidates. He's realistic. Used to be a party chairman. He looks at the numbers, says this is hopeless.
Correct. Well, not just the numbers. I mean, look, he realized that some of the mistakes, I think they realized that some of the mistakes he made on race would be a problem for him going forward. I think being from Mississippi is a problem, not just because of the state's historic racial problems, but also because of its poverty and its other difficulties. And the third thing is, and I'll tell you, people at the White House would say this was the killer for him. You cannot be a lobbyist in America right now and expect to win a general election. It is just in a time when everybody is so anti-Washington. He is the ultimate insider, and I think he was smart enough to realize that that would keep him from ever getting into the White House.
They had polling information saying, would you vote for a former lobbyist? It was like 50% said no. Yeah. Now, Mitch Daniels jumped on this. He released a statement immediately saying he praising Barbour and saying he would have endorsed Haley Barbour if Haley Barbour had won. Clearly a play for Haley Barbour's support, if there is any out there, in the case of Daniels jumping in.
Well, to be fair, Mitch Daniels and Haley Barbour, unlike so many people in politics who say they are friends but really are just like they've run into each other in the hallway at some point, those two guys actually are friends. And the thinking among a lot of Republicans is that both of them would probably not run. And now with Barbour out of the way, that Daniels has a clearer path to running and certainly a clear path to trying to become a plausible establishment alternative to Mitt Romney, which a lot of people in the Republican Party are looking for.
Let's take a look at the polls. We have an NBC Wall Street Journal poll that shows you where Haley Barbour was just about flatlining. There's the poll with all the candidates. 21 is the top line for Mitt Romney, all the way down to Barbour's 1%, Pawlenty at 6%. You take out all the people who aren't going to run, like Palin and some of the other fake candidacies, Trump. You take those out of there, and everybody doubles. Romney doubles up to 40%. Gingrich doubles up to 20%. Pawlenty doubles up to 12%. So there is real movement there. But even Romney at 40 does not exclude a burst from someone else. Hillary Clinton was at 40 when Barack Obama was, 20 points below.
Sure, and Romney is benefiting from the fact that right now among the credible candidates, like the non-nut candidates, he has the most name recognition in the Republican Party. So part of the problem for guys like Barbour and Daniels, we know who those people are, but even Republican hardcore primary voters don't actually know who Mitch Daniels is. Wait a little while, get him into some debates, get some ads going on in the key states, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, you'll suddenly see those guys start to move a lot, conceivably, if they turn out to be good candidates.
This is why I'm keeping my bet on Pawlenty, because you've got Romney up there at 40% with the realistic candidates in the mix. Yep. It leaves a lot of room for movement, and if he's not completely squashing a guy like Pawlenty, who has, as far as I can see, no serious problem, the way Romney does with health care, the way Romney does with being a former liberal, the way flipping on abortion and all these things. He's got serious problems that only get highlighted as the campaign goes on.
I think it's all that analysis is right, and it's one of the reasons that Tim Pawlenty is not a totally incredible candidate. But look, I think it's even with the Tea Party, it's likely that the most plausible establishment candidate who gets in will be the Republican nominee. And there is just so many misgivings with Romney now among Republican regulars, that there's space. That might be John Huntsman could get into that race and make a difference. Daniels could make a difference. There's a lot of things that are going to shift as we start to see, again, who the non-populist, non-Tea Party candidates are, the ones who actually have a chance to win.
John Heilemann, National Affairs Editor at New York Magazine and co-author of Game Change. Thanks for your insight tonight, John.